I am Reed. I am 27. Just an average dude. I have made tons of money mistakes in my 20s. And now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. So let me ask you something real quick. If you are under 30 right now, does it feel like everyone is screaming the same thing at you? Find your passion, build your empire. Turn your hobby into income, figure out your purpose before it is too late. And honestly, that pressure is exhausting. I remember sitting in my apartment at like 23 years old, scrolling through Instagram and seeing all these people my age who looked like they had everything figured out. They were starting companies, they were traveling the world, they were posting about their morning routines and their passion projects. And I was sitting there eating instant noodles trying to figure out how to pay my credit card bill. And the worst part was I felt like I was broken, like everyone else got some secret memo about life that I somehow missed. But here is what I've learned after years of feeling that way. The traditional idea of finding your purpose is actually kind of broken. And in this video, I want to break down why that happens and then give you a more realistic way to actually figure out what you are meant to do without losing your mind. Let me start with something personal. When I was 22, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was working a job that I didn't hate, but I didn't love either. It was just a job, and every time someone asked me what my passion was, I felt this knot in my stomach because I didn't have an answer. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I was lazy or unmotivated or just not special enough to have a purpose. But looking back now, I realized the problem was me. The problem was the way I was thinking about purpose. We grew up with this narrative that by 22 you are supposed to have your dream job, and by 25 you are supposed to have your passion figured out. And by 30 you better have a full career and kids and a relationship and a side hustle and investments and be rich. And that is not even realistic. That is a recipe for burnout and anxiety and feeling like you are never enough. And social media makes it so much worse. Every single day you open TikTok or Instagram and it looks like every 24-year-old is either a millionaire or a digital nomad or a founder of some company running a passion-driven business from a rooftop in Bali. And meanwhile, you are over here just trying to figure out what you enjoy and put food on the table. And what most people don't realize is that pressure is not motivating for most people. For me, it did the exact opposite when I felt like I needed to get it perfect on the first try. I got terrified to start anything at all. I ended up doing nothing because the idea of choosing wrong felt like the end of the world. So instead of helping me find my purpose, the pressure actually shut me down completely. And here's another thing that nobody talks about: the myth of the eureka moment. We were all taught that at some point we were going to feel this dramatic moment where suddenly everything clicks. Like one day the sky is going to open up and a beam of light is going to hit us and we suddenly going to know our purpose. But let us be real, life does not work like that. I've never had a single eureka moment in my entire life. Not one. Purpose is not a lightning bolt. It is a slow build-up over time. It is tiny breadcrumbs that you follow through life without even realizing it. It is the things you are curious about. It is the people you admire. It is the work that energizes you instead of drains you. And most people miss those breadcrumbs because they looking for a giant sign. I know I did. I spent years waiting for some big revelation that never came, and in the meantime, I was ignoring all the small signals that were right in front of me. I remember back when I was 24, I was still stuck in that cycle of feeling lost. I had this side thing where I would help my friends organize their budgets and figure out their spending. I never thought of it as anything serious, it was just something I did for fun. But looking back, that was actually the first breadcrumb. That small thing I was doing for free with my friends eventually turned into me learning more about personal finance and then starting to share what I learned. And now that is literally what I do. But at the time, I didn't recognize it as a sign of purpose. I just thought it was a random hobby. That is the thing about purpose. It usually starts very small and very unimpressive. Every big passion begins as a tiny spark that you don't think much about. But when something continues to pull your attention over and over again, that is not random. That is your brain saying, hey, look here, so let me give you 7 steps that actually helped me stop feeling lost and start moving forward. And I want to be clear about something. I am not a life coach. I am not a psychologist. I am just a regular guy who has been through this struggle and found some things that worked for me. So take what is useful and leave the rest. Step 1 is follow your curiosity, not a plan. This was huge for me. A lot of people feel stuck because they think they need a massive 10-year plan to even get started. They think purpose only arrives after you map out your entire life. But the reality is most people who end up doing something meaningful didn't start with clarity at all. They started with curiosity. Curiosity is those little breadcrumbs your life drops for you. It shows up in the topics that you naturally find yourself researching at 2 a.m. It shows up in the things you find yourself ranting about to your friends. It shows up in the weird hobbies that you wish you had more time for. Maybe the problems that frustrate you more than they should. Most people ignore those things because they feel too small or not serious enough, but that is the whole point. Purpose starts small. In my case, I was curious about why I kept overspending every month. That curiosity led me to learn about budgeting, that led me to learn about investing, that led me to help others. And now, here I am talking to you about it. I didn't have a plan, I just followed what I was curious about and let it compound over time. Step 2 is look at what you are naturally good at but don't value yet. This one hit me hard. The crazy thing about purpose is that it is often hiding inside the strengths you brush off because they feel too easy. We've all done things that we just naturally good at. Things we've done our whole lives without realizing they actual skills. But because they come so naturally, we convince ourselves that they don't matter or that everyone else is just as good. Maybe you are the friend that everyone comes to for advice. Maybe you are the one who stays calm under pressure. Maybe you are the organized person in your group. Maybe you are really good at explaining things clearly. Maybe you are the creative one, but you downplay it. Or maybe you are the problem solver without even trying. Those things are not random. Those are signals that build towards your purpose. For me, I never thought of myself as someone who could teach or explain things, but my friends kept telling me that I was good at breaking down complicated money stuff into simple terms. I didn't value that skill at all. I thought it was just me being normal. But that skill became the foundation of everything I do now. So pay attention to the things people compliment you on. Pay attention to the things that feel effortless for you. Those are clues. Step 3 is put yourself in rooms that expand you. This one changed my life. Purpose does not grow when everything around you stays the same. You cannot discover who you are meant to be if you are stuck cycling through the same routines and the same conversations and the same job and the same environment every single day. You become a slightly improved version of your old self, but you never truly become a new version of yourself. Real clarity comes when you put yourself in new rooms, places that show you different versions of life that you had no idea even existed. A new job, a new hobby, a new city, a new group of friends, a new challenge that maybe you didn't feel ready for. All of these things stretch who you are as a person. They make your world bigger. And when your world expands, you naturally expand with it. I remember when I first started learning about personal finance, I joined some online communities and I started following people who talked about money differently. That was a new room for me before that. Nobody in my circle talked about budgeting or investing. It just wasn't a thing. But being in that new room exposed me to ideas I never would have thought of on my own. And that is where real growth started happening. Step 4 is study what drains you versus what gives you energy. This one is huge because we always told to chase what we love. But nobody talks about how powerful it is to track what completely drains you. Every path in life has hard moments, but not all hard moments feel the same. Some challenges leave you exhausted and completely checked out, and other ones strangely leave you fulfilled and wanting more. A lot of people could find their purpose faster if they simply paid attention to their energy. When do you feel the most alive? When do you feel like time is flying by? When do you feel proud afterward? And on the flip side, when do you feel like your soul is being sucked out of your body? Those moments matter. Your energy is more honest than your logic. You might convince yourself something is the smart path or the safe path, but your energy tells you instantly if something is right for you. When something lights you up, even when it is difficult, that is a sign you are moving in the right direction. When something constantly drains you, no matter how much money you are making or how cool your title sounds, that is a sign you are moving away from your purpose. For me, I realized that talking about money and helping people stressed me out less than my actual job did. And that was a huge clue. Step 5 is do more things that scare you, but in a good way. I think a lot of people forget this. The things you are scared to try are usually the exact things that matter the most. I am not talking about skydiving or something dangerous. I am talking about that fear you feel. That is always danger. Sometimes it is purpose trying to get your attention, that thing you keep thinking about doing. The business idea, the job application, the message you want to send, the skill you want to learn, the move you want to make. You are not scared of it because it is wrong. You are scared of it because it is meaningful. Fear shows up when you are near something that could actually change your life. And most of us walk away from that feeling because we confuse fear with a stop sign, but it is really a signal. Purpose almost always hides behind the door you are intimidated to open. When I first thought about making content about personal finance, I was terrified. I thought, who is going to listen to me? I am not an expert. I am just some guy who made a bunch of mistakes, but that fear was actually a sign that this mattered to me. If I didn't care, I wouldn't have been scared. So I did it anyway. And that one scary step opened up a whole new direction in my life. Step 6 is realize that purpose evolves, and that is a good thing. One of the most freeing realizations I've ever had is that your purpose is allowed to change. The thing that fulfills you at 22 honestly should not be the same thing that fulfills you at 27 or 30 or 35. You grow, you learn, you change, and your purpose changes with you. I hear a lot of people say the best advice is to never change your goals, but realistically, that is not good advice at all. A lot of people get stuck because they trying to force themselves into an identity that they've outgrown. They treat purpose like a lifelong contract instead of something that shifts with every new chapter. But your purpose is a conversation with yourself, not a contract. Think about where you were 5 years ago. You are probably nothing like that person anymore. So why would your purpose stay the same? Let it change. Let it evolve as you evolve. When I was 22, I thought purpose meant having a high-paying corporate job and a fancy title. By 25, I realized that wasn't what I wanted at all. And that was okay. Actually, it was better than okay. It was growth. And step 7 is the most important one. Wait for clarity. I cannot stress this enough. Clarity does not magically appear before you take action. Clarity is something you create through action. You don't sit on your couch thinking your way into purpose. You figure it out in motion. It comes from trying things and experimenting and messing up and seeing what sticks and what doesn't. Taking a small step and then another small step and letting the results teach you who you are. People who wait for confidence or wait for the perfect plan are the ones who stay stuck forever. But the people who start messy and just throw something at the wall until it sticks, even when they have no idea what they were doing, those are the ones who build confidence naturally. Purpose does not show up in your mind first. It shows up in your actions and your routines and your efforts. So don't you wait for the perfect plan or the perfect idea or the perfect moment. Just start small, start unsure, start nervous, but start because everything you want becomes clearer after you take that first step and not before it. So if you are watching this and you don't know your purpose yet, I am telling you that is okay. You are exactly where you are supposed to be. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are not lost. You are just exploring. The old model of figure out your passion at 18 and stick to it forever is dead. The new model is fluid. Explore, experiment, follow your curiosities, grow through small actions, and let your purpose evolve as you evolve. Purpose is not something you discover in your head overnight. It is something you build through your daily choices piece by piece. And I promise you, it'll start to become clearer. So you are definitely not late. If anything, now is the perfect day to start. I hope this helped you out. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.